Hey guys, Travis Gillespie here. Pretty soon you're going to be working with equations that look a little bit different. It's because they have a variable in them. A variable is a letter that represents some number or some unknown value. So your overall goal with this equation, it's to isolate the variable. Get the variable alone and it will help you find out what that value, that unknown value is. Now these 5 steps will never change. What I mean by that is, although this is an addition equation, equations could have different operations. They could have addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division in them. Regardless of the operation, because the operation can change, you will always use these 5 steps. The 5 steps will never change. So let's look at them. Step 1 is to locate the variable. Well, I've located b. Once you locate the variable, move on to the next step. Step 2 is to think, how can I isolate the variable? Well, I'm going to go back to b. And I'm going to think, how can I get b by itself? Well, I need to get rid of this value that's next to it. That's the key word. Get rid of the value that's next to it. The way that I can do that is push it to the other side of the equation, get it to the other side of the equation. So once you've thought, how can I get rid of 2, move on to the next step. The third step is to use the inverse operation. Inverse is a fancy way of saying do the opposite. Well, if I'm adding 2 here, I'm going to change colors. If I'm adding 2, the opposite is to subtract 2. So I'm going to subtract 2. The fourth step is to say, hey, I've got to balance this equation. Another way of thinking about that is, well, if I'm doing it to this side, if I'm subtracting 2 from this side, I've got to do it to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 2 on this side as well. Well, 2, take away 2, will give me a value of 0. So these values actually cancel out. I'm going to change colors real quick. I'm left with b on this side of the equation, or this stuff over here. I'm left with b only. It's equal to this stuff on the other side of the equation. Well, 6 take away 2 will give me a value of 4. So can I box this as my final answer? Well, let's move on to the 5th step. It says check your answer. So the 5th step, what I want to do, I'm going to change colors again, is to check this answer. b equals 4 might be a solution to the equation above. So to check my answer, I'm going to plug 4 back into the original equation. Another way of saying that, plug in, another way of saying that is to substitute 4 in for b in this original equation. So I'm actually going to write down that this is the 5th step. And that key word again, it's substitute. In fact, I'm going to erase it from here, and I'm going to plug that in down below. So the 5th step is to substitute. Substitute the solution in and check it in the original equation. So we have, instead of b, I have 4 plus 2. So 4 plus 2, it's equal to this stuff over here, which is 6. Now right now I'm thinking, I don't know if 4 plus 2 equals 6. That's because this stuff over here might not check out with this stuff over here. So I've actually got to do some calculations. What is 4 plus 2? Well, 4 plus 2, if you actually calculated it, it is 6. So I'm just saying this stuff, 6, might be equal to this stuff over here, equal to 6. And now that I've rewritten all this information, I can see it checks out. So I'm going to rewrite this solution to the original equation at the very bottom. So b, it's equal to 4. And let's box this information up. I'll see you in another video, guys.